Thank you all for listening and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my channel Master Coolits. Hoping that you will not skip my ads. It's a big help for me by not skipping it. Thank you so much. Dragon Shadow. The Rise.
Zane Martell and Elora's expressions changed. Their faces turned serious all of a sudden.
It seems that the situation in this fiery furnace blood prison is worse than what we expected. No wonder people said this is the land of death.
Zane Martell nodded, trying to reassure her.
Don't worry. Since these thieves from Glimmer Continent have a way to open a passageway to enter the fiery furnace blood prison to search for treasures, they will naturally have a way out.
Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Numerous figures fled from the ruins of the Blood Prison Palace and flew past the two of them. Zane Martell rose into the air and blocked himself in front of a young man.
You know the way in here. You must know the way out too. Tell us how we can get out of here.
The young man was furious when he realized that Zane Martell was blocking his way.
Get lost.
However, Zane Martell did not budge.
Ha! If you don't move right now, I'll kill you.
The man yelled as he attempted to strike Zane Martell. Zane Martell frowned slightly and put out a strike. Bang! The two attacks collided in the air. At the moment of contact, the young man's attack was immediately defeated. It was hit down by Zane Martell and smashed onto the ground, which was bloody in color. Oh no! The young man spat out a mouthful of blood. He was stupefied. He and Zane Martell were at the 9th level advanced level, but why was Zane Martell so much stronger?
Don't kill me. Ask whatever you want. I'll tell you everything I know.
Recognizing the difference in their strength, the young man gave up resisting. Zane Martell landed in front of the young man and asked,
You must know a way out of here since you've made the choice to come in. Tell me now. I'd spare your death if I'm happy with your answer.
The young man hurriedly nodded and said in a trembling voice,
The 5 of us from different armies had joined forces and finally managed to open the passageway into here. Our purpose was to steal the treasures here.
Zane Martell listened intently, his eyes narrowing as he processed the information.
Therefore, the way out was set up a month from the day we entered. A month later, in the most western and highest mountain, the passage will naturally appear.
The mountains here were naturally a mountain of corpses made of bones. This damn place was flat with no real mountain.
1 month?
Zane Martell's expression changed. It was going to take a month for the passageway to appear again. By then, the Demon God sect would have already launched their assault on Meadow Continent. If everything went as planned, his father, Ezekiel Martell, would have been rescued and brought back to the Meadow Continent. Furthermore, Orion Slade and the others are desperate to retrieve the relic of Marshal Royal. They would spare no lives. At that time, the war would definitely be unprecedentedly powerful. To get the relic of Marshal Royal, the Demon God sect would definitely go all out. If Samuel Blake, Gavin Owens, and others couldn't hold the defense, the Meadow Continent would be destroyed in a blink of an eye.
Is there no other way? It must be a month later?
The young man shook his head and added,
To open the passageway, it must be done from the outside world. Based on what we discussed with our partners outside, it would take a month. If I had known that this would happen, I wouldn't have come in.
He was scared. Every time the huge skeleton behind him took a step, there would be a deafening sound. The purple flames in his eyes seemed to be looking for prey. Once they met the Demon Clan members, they would kill them immediately. Zane Martell sighed. Since this was the case, there was nothing he could do. He could only stay in this place for a month.
Get out of here.
The young man said as he nodded repeatedly.
Thank you, thank you.
Then he rose into the sky and ran for his life in the distance. Zane Martell watched him go, his mind racing with thoughts of the impending war and their dire situation. He couldn't afford to waste time. He had to find a way to survive in this hellish place and return to the Meadow Continent in time to make a difference. But with a month-long wait ahead of him, the odds seemed insurmountable. What other dangers lurked in the shadows of the fiery furnace blood prison? And how would Zane Martell and Elora navigate this treacherous landscape to find a way out? The clock was ticking, and the fate of the Meadow Continent hung in the balance. Soon, Zane Martell told Elora about the opening of the passageway. The two of them left their original location far away from the blood prison palace and the huge skeleton behind them. They flew in the direction where there were no traces of people. Half a day later, they finally stopped after flying a great distance. There was no trace of the other thieves here at all. They couldn't even hear the voices of the dead spirit army and the huge skeleton. At least it was safe here.
Finally, some peace.
Zane Martell landed in front of a large pile of corpses. He used the sky-killing sword to create a small space for the two of them to live in temporarily. He even built a big bed with these skeletons and invited Elora to lie on it together.
Not the most comfortable, but it will do.
However, she rolled her eyes at him in resentment.
You expect me to sleep on that?
It was unknown whether it was because she disliked the bed made of bones or because she disliked the idea of sharing a bed with Zane Martell. 3 days later, Zane Martell took out the large piece of dragon crystal he had obtained from the blood prison palace and placed it on the ground. The 2-meter-tall and 1-meter-wide dragon crystal weighed more than 500 kilograms. It was transparent and bright orange and red in color. Looking at this dragon crystal, Zane Martell's heart was filled with excitement. The devouring dragon blood essence in his body was jumping up and down. But he didn't intend to take it all for himself. Instead, he invited Elora to share it with him.
We worked hard for this. Let's share it.
Thank you, Zane Martell.
Zane Martell and Elora sat on both sides of the dragon crystal and began to meditate and cultivate. All kinds of energy ran in their bodies. As they absorbed and swallowed, 2 orange-red airflow streams emerged from the huge dragon crystal. It began to seep in through their nostrils. Zane Martell could clearly sense the thirst of the devouring dragon blood essence in his body. They were swallowing the energy within the dragon crystal in large mouthfuls. As soon as he had broken through to the 9th level advanced level, his origin vital energy slowly began to rise. 5 days later, Zane Martell's Sky Demon 99 transformations had finally broken through to the 3rd level, and his physical strength had greatly increased. Zane Martell could sense that his current physical strength could throw out a strong punch that had a strength of 500,000 tons without using his vital energy at all. Even after breaking through to the 9th level advanced level, an ordinary practitioner in the expert level was truly no match for him. Zane Martell opened his eyes slightly. His heart was filled with doubt as he looked at the purple-colored light that was flowing non-stop outside of Elora's body. If Elora didn't know what kind of power of nature it was no doubt that Zane Martell would know less about it.
What kind of power is she harnessing?
Suddenly, the whole mountain of corpses began to shake violently. There was a violent sound coming from outside the cave.
Could it be that those dead creatures have come looking for us?
Zane Martell's expression changed. In the past, in order to avoid the attacks of the dead spirit creatures, the two of them flew very far away in one breath. Logically speaking, they shouldn't have found this place.
Let's go out and have a look.
Elora opened her eyes, slowly got up and walked out with Zane Martell. However, before the two of them could leave the cave, an iron claw of a demonic beast suddenly reached out from outside the cave and grabbed Zane Martell. The sharp claw radiance left a few black lights in the air. Zane Martell flashed and dodged. The claw radiance easily tore the surrounding skeletons into pieces as easily as tearing pieces of paper.
What is this? It's not a dead creature.
Zane Martell frowned. He roughly remembered the appearance of a dead creature, but he did not have this kind of demonic beast form. The iron claw reached for Zane Martell again.
How dare you! Get lost!
Zane Martell threw a punch at his opponent and sent him flying with a terrifying force. Then the demonic beast's appearance entered their vision. It turned out to be a strange 3 or 4 meter long bird. What was this strange bird, and why was it attacking them? The answers lay ahead as Zane Martell and Elora braced themselves for another battle in the treacherous fiery furnace blood prison. The creature had a hawk-like head adorned with 2 curved horns, their tips stained a blood-red hue. Its sharp beak, lined with jagged teeth, added to its eerie appearance. Among its black feathers, red ones intermittently shimmered, emitting a scarlet glow. The bird's build was magnificent, exuding an aura of might and mystery. Zane Martell and Alora, seasoned and knowledgeable, were baffled by this demonic creature. They had never encountered such a being in the fiery furnace blood prison before. The bird scanned its surroundings before locking its cold, sharp gaze onto Zane Martell, its eyes burning with fury. Without hesitation, it flapped its enormous wings, generating a powerful gust as it charged at Zane Martell.
A mere intermediate levels demonic beast, and it dares to attack me? Interesting.
Zane Martell didn't dodge. Instead, he grabbed the bird's black iron claws with both hands, lifting it and slamming it hard onto the ground. The impact created a massive pit, the ground caving under the force. Zane Martell believed this would surely be the end of the strange bird. But to his astonishment, the bird stumbled to its feet, shaking off the dust and blood from its feathers, and launched another attack.
Eh? It's not dead yet?
With his current strength, Zane Martell knew that even an ordinary advanced-level practitioner would have been killed or crippled by such an attack. Yet the bird only seemed superficially injured. Suddenly, the red feathers on the bird's body lit up, and it spat a blazing flame from its mouth. Zane Martell felt a chill run down his spine, not because of the flame's power, but because it held the initial level of fire's essence.
Only creatures with spiritual intelligence can comprehend the power of nature. What kind of demonic beast is this?
This was a revelation. Only beings with spiritual intelligence, like humans and certain demonic beasts, could communicate with the powers of nature.
I can't kill it yet. I must figure out what's going on.
Zane Martell made up his mind. He summoned the Thunderbolt Fist, a massive palm that descended from the sky, grasping the bird and pinning it to the ground. He approached cautiously, studying the creature.
Could it be a demonic beast that doesn't exist in the outside world?
Zane Martell pondered this possibility. The fiery furnace blood prison was home to many undying spirits. Could it also harbor unique demonic beasts?
If that's the case, it would be a significant discovery.
With a wave of his hand, he dismissed the Thunderbolt Fist. The strange bird, realizing the power gap, instinctively fled in a certain direction.
I thought you wanted to lock it up and raise it.
Alora, you know me so well.
Elora paused, taken aback by his response.
Really? The bird was only in the intermediate level. What use would it be?
Sometimes even the smallest creatures hold the biggest secrets.
Zane Martell's curiosity was piqued. What secrets did this strange bird hold? And what other mysteries lay hidden in the depths of the fiery furnace blood prison? The answers were out there, waiting to be uncovered. As the echoes of the bird's escape faded, Zane Martell and Alora stood on the precipice of discovery, their journey into the unknown just beginning. Alora didn't fully grasp it, but Zane Martell knew the uniqueness of this strange bird. This bird, with its strength of the intermediate level, had survived Zane Martell's 2 attacks. Its physical resilience was extraordinary, comparable to a powerful human body-refining warrior.
Let's go and have a look. Maybe there are more strange birds like that.
Elora rolled her eyes, clearly unimpressed.
What's so interesting about a strange bird?
Yet she followed Zane Martell as he chased after the bird in the air. The bird's speed was astonishing. Despite being at the 5th level of the intermediate level, it matched the pace of a 1st-level advanced level practitioner. Zane Martell's curiosity about the bird's origin and identity grew. After several minutes, they reached a strange terrain. A cliff, 3 or 4 kilometers wide and over 1,000 meters high, stood before them, its surface dotted with dense caves. Hovering in midair were over 100 identical strange birds, all exuding the energy of the intermediate level.
There are actually so many strange birds here. What kind of place is this?
Zane Martell frowned, deeply puzzled.
Zane Martell, look over there!
She pointed to a huge pattern on the cliff, resembling a symbol. It depicted a giant bird with wings spread out, suspended in the air and spewing flames. The fierce image bore a striking resemblance to the strange birds. The moment Zane Martell saw the pattern, his mind went blank and his entire body trembled.
This is Skywing.
Skywing?
Skywing, an extremely powerful ancient demonic beast, could almost fight the Dragon Clan without being at a disadvantage. Ancient books told of a giant bird soaring in the sky, devouring any living thing. There were even rumors that Skywing gained great power from devouring a real dragon. Zane Martell sighed internally, unsure if Skywing or the devouring dragon was stronger, but he quickly dismissed the thought.
In this world, There's only one devouring dragon that devours heaven and earth. The devouring dragon must be more powerful.
Could these demonic beasts be Skywing itself?
Zane Martell nodded, then shook his head, his expression becoming solemn.
Not entirely. They should be descendants of Skywing. If it were the ancient Skywing, we would have been killed already. They inherited the power of fire and physical prowess, but nothing else. They're just flame claws.
He finally understood why the Flame Claws, despite lacking spiritual intelligence, could master the power of fire. The vast cliff held thousands of caves, with almost 10,000 Flame Claws residing there.
Are you going to catch one of the flame claws to keep as a pet?
She teased him, thinking he might abandon the idea, but Zane Martell saw an opportunity, not to capture one, but all of them.
Oh, I'm going to capture them for sure and train them as my army.
An incredible thought surfaced in his mind. The Flame Claws, descendants of the legendary Skywing, could become a formidable force under his command. As the realization dawned, Zane Martell and Alora stood at the edge of a monumental discovery, their journey into the unknown continuing. What secrets did the Flame Claws hold? How would Zane Martell harness their power? The answers awaited in the depths of the fiery furnace blood prison, shrouded in mystery and danger.